Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jamila Alqarnain. I have 7 children, alhamdulillah, that I homeschool, 3 girls and 4 boys. I've been homeschooling through a homeschool program for the last 10 years, but I've officially been homeschooling for 16 years since my oldest daughter is 16. I'm a wife and author of a book called The Muslim Family Guide to Successful Homeschooling, which is a handbook for Muslims who are homeschooling or plan to homeschool, or even if you are utilizing the public school system, there's a lot of advice in there about that from other adults who homeschooled, who went to public school when they were children. I'm a wife, alhamdulillah. I love being a wife and a mom, and I just work hard to perfect that, and in my spare time do reading, gardening, that kind of thing. On the homeschooling aspect, I'm just going to go through and answer some of the questions that the sister said that some of you all had. For the question, how much does it cost to homeschool in a year? I'm with a homeschool program. Well, I was with a homeschool program called the HISA. This year I'm doing independent homeschooling, which means I'm declaring my house as a homeschool. So I'll give my school a name, and I'll register with the state. I have to register in October, and I'll be in charge of getting all their curriculum and everything. In the past 10 years, I've been with a homeschool program, and they would give me $800 per child per year, and that would go towards any classes that I needed, any arts and crafts, any materials that I need for arts and crafts, or any, things that I need for different activities. The textbooks were free, so I had an endless supply of textbooks. That was very nice, but the reason why I want to be more independent, because I didn't have the freedom that I wanted. I couldn't, for instance, I might want to just spend the month on science and math because my child picked up something and they're really interested in it, and so I just want to concentrate on that. Well, I wasn't able to do that. And so when I was writing the book, I met a lot of sisters who were doing independent homeschooling, and I decided that I would give it a try. So I'm not sure how much. I'm thinking a budget close to what we were doing before, a little less, maybe $500 a year. My children are into a lot of different activities. They draw. My oldest daughter is into photography. They like to cook. So all of these things, I have to pay for the classes, and I have to see how much that's going to be. And I'm just asking Allah to help me, inshallah, so that I can have a little bit more freedom when it comes to what I want to teach and what I want to teach. What time do I get started? So usually after Fajr, we're up. If we want to get everything done in a day, we need to stay up after Fajr. And so that's about 6 o'clock, and that means everybody, the children that are in kindergarten, the older children, everyone gets up and takes their shower. Some take a shower at night, some take a shower in the morning, eat breakfast, and do our Islamic studies. We try to make sure that we do Islamic studies first, because if you wait, shaitan will get in there and you get distracted, and boom, you don't get it done. So we do our Islamic studies. We do all the rest of our subjects. I try to give them a snack in between the subjects and then lunch. And then ideally we'll do some arts and crafts or something like that. And then they have classes they go to. Like I said, art classes, photography classes. My son likes sports, so I take him to a rec center where he plays soccer and football. There's a skateboard park there. So I try to get them out so they can socialize towards the end of the day. And that's pretty much what our day looks like, ideally. It doesn't always flow like that. It's not perfect, alhamdulillah, but for the most part, that's what we like to do. And sometimes we might have a loose day where we just, like I say, concentrate on one subject that they might be interested in. Okay, so how do I keep myself motivated and not lazy? Well, I just think about, my children, and I'm all they have. If I don't get it together and if I don't work hard to educate them, then they're doomed. Allah gave me these children, and I have a responsibility to make sure they get what they need. So it's a constant struggle to get better and better and better, because homeschooling is not always easy. You know, you have different children, especially when you have so many different children with so many different needs. You have to make sure you balance that out, and so you're constantly managing all these little people, all their affairs and everything. So I just stay motivated because I don't want to fail. I want to be successful at what I do. I want to be able to look back 20 years from now and say, alhamdulillah, you know, I did a good job and Allah will be pleased with me. So I take my job very seriously. I always say I'm in the business of raising children. This is my business, and I take it very seriously. If I was running a multi-million-dollar corporation, I would take that serious, and I think that, you know, my babies are more important, you know, than any corporation that I could be the head of. So I take it very seriously, and alhamdulillah, that motivates me, just wanting to see them be successful and succeed in life, inshallah. So do I get together with other homeschoolers? Alhamdulillah, my whole family homeschools. That, you know, my sister, my auntie, and my cousin, and so we get together. Some of us get together more than others. My sister helps me teach on a daily basis this year. My aunt teaches my children language arts. Sometimes we get together for field trips. So, yeah, I get together with other homeschoolers quite often. The children have a PE class that they go to, and this is something that's just open to all the homeschoolers in San Diego, and that's pretty fun. Yeah, so I would say I get together with other homeschool parents on a daily, if not weekly basis. And that's really helpful because we know we bounce ideas off of each other. Sometimes we'll bring together curriculum that they're trying out, and I get to see what's what without having to go out and buy the curriculum. So that's really helpful. And if I'm having some kind of trouble, I might ask the advice of one of the other sisters. So it's really nice to be around other people who are going through the same things that you are going through, or have went through some of the things that you're going through, and they can really help you to solve some of the problems that you may have. Okay, so what about socialization and special interests, enrichment activities? I think I kind of answered that question already. I try to keep them socialized by taking them to different classes and visiting with their cousins, and I really try to, you know, if they take on an interest, like my daughter's into photography right now, so I'm right there with her trying to find different classes. You know, I try to enable them to explore whatever their interests are to the fullest, you know, and sometimes they may bore with it and we move on to the next thing, but I try to make sure I can find as many resources for them as possible, because that's really important to me. Some advice I wanted to give is don't compare yourselves to others. You know, there's always going to be that mom that seems like she's a super mom. She's got it going on. She's doing so many things, but, you know, you do what you can do. Don't compare yourself to others. You know, she may be strong in some points that you're weak in, but you may be strong in some points that she's weak in, you know. And if you see someone doing something, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to do something that you see someone else doing if you think it's, you know, something that will benefit you. Just, you know, ask Allah to help you in that particular instance. But don't beat yourself up, like the Sister Holly said. You're always going to see somebody that's doing more, and you're looking at them like, oh, man, they got it going on, you know. I'm doing nothing. Don't feel like that. As long as you're trying, you know, as long as you're not sitting on the couch eating bonbons and watching soap operas, you're really putting in that 100% as much as you can into your children, then you're doing good, alhamdulillah. Other advice I wanted to give, homeschooling doesn't mean you're going to get an automatic movement. When I first started homeschooling, I thought, boy, I'm homeschooling my children. They're bound to become perfect, you know. It's really, it's a tightrope. You know, I believe that you have more of a chance to raise them to be mu'min at home because you have control over your environment, but it's very easy to pollute that environment. And it's, you know, we bring our baggage to the table. You know, if you're a new mom right now, really analyze what you're doing. Try to get rid of your bad habits because the kids are right there and they pick it up. And once you put it out there, it's very hard to, you know, take it all away because they've already seen what they've seen. So you can really you can make or break a situation. Just because you homeschool doesn't mean that your children are going to come out perfect Muslims. You have to do a lot of planning. You have to try to filter their media, not letting them watch anything, do anything. It's a lot that goes into that, and really praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asking Him to guide you and help you through. So I just wanted to throw that out there. There was a question about curriculum, and I wanted to just briefly go through some curriculum that I really love. I really like Explode the Code. Their workbooks are excellent. There's a lot of practice in there in their workbooks, and they really break it down as far as the phonics goes. And there are a lot of different levels, and there's just tons of practice. There's a workbook where you'll have 1 and then 1.5, and they're both going over the same thing: short vowels, long vowels, blends. So I recommend that to anyone that has beginning readers and on. Becca Readers is a Christian-based reader. They are Christian-based readers, but they're very good. They're very basic. There's a lot of practice. Sometimes you'll get readers and you're trying to teach your child about short A, but it's got short A in there somewhere, but there's all these big, huge words, and you're like, but they don't even know how to sound out, cat. So I really like Becca because it's very simple, and it's a lot of repetitive practice. Also, the old school readers, the readers from maybe like the 70s, 80s, like Dick and Jane. You can find them at the thrift store, and they're old because they look old. They don't look like the new readers that they have out right now. I recommend those. I really like Bob books. They're very good for teaching phonics. And there are a lot of different ways to teach reading. Everyone doesn't teach reading phonetically. Some people do sight words. I'm just more partial to teaching them phonetically. But there are other ways that work too. I like Yvonne Moore workbooks. She has a ton of workbooks on every different subject that you can think of. She has it, and they're also available online. If you subscribe to Yvonne Moore's website, you can actually just print up the worksheets as needed. And they're very good as well. McGraw-Hill makes very good spelling books. I've been using those for years. My daughter, who's 16 now, when she first started, homeschooling, I used those spelling books with her, and I recommend those. Just last parting advice, I just wanted to say, make lots of dua and ask Allah to help you through, along with pooling your resources, like Holly said, utilizing your husband and your friends and whatever you have in your community that you can utilize. There are a lot of different programs. Just, go online and try to find those that are accessible to you. Make a lot of dua, and Allah will guide you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.